Hey, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're all doing well. And I don't know, I haven't done a reading in a little while, so I wanted to come on here and do a reading. This is just a reading. This is what the cards are saying. I'm not making anything up. I don't have any downloads. The things I did see were, I don't even know what it was. So until I have better clarity on what I'm seeing, I don't really know what to say. So yeah. I think this is a time to be still and know that God is God. I'm not necessarily sure what's going on. Maybe the cards will give us more of a direction on where we're going with this conversation. So I hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, reflective. You might be experiencing some challenges when it comes to people. I'm not necessarily sure why this may be a challenge, but it may be. I don't know if it is for you or what is going on exactly, but when you do have these challenges, you may reflect on them. You may think about them. You may this is the Queen of Cups. This is a person who, this is like love. This is someone who's very emotionally inspiring. They just have themselves emotionally together. So you may be dealing with someone who is just a really caring, loving person, which is a breath of fresh air right now, right? And someone who wants to help, maybe be supportive somehow, but this person is reflective. So usually when you're reflective, you are able to, if something's coming up with you, saying someone is having a power trip, they're trying to control a situation or you or whatever, right? And they may have very good intentions on this. The benefit of the doubt is that there's good intentions here. Maybe they're testing something within you. I'm not sure. Or it could just be a power trip, something out of the ego. I'm not necessarily sure. But if you are experiencing that, reflect on the situation. Reflect on the person. Just reflect. Reflect the situation. The way. Pray. So in this moment, whatever may be going on, I'm not sure if it's a difficult situation or even if it's something that you need or it's somebody that you're praying for or whatever it is that you're praying. It could be for someone else, right? Most likely that's what we do. We pray for others, or we pray for ourselves in ways that are benefit others as well, right? So the way. The way is usually helpful not only to yourself but to others. Three of Cups, abundance. Okay, so abundance is here. Maybe this challenge is challenging your abundance. And you're not necessarily sure why you're being challenged here, but you can reflect on the situation, pray, and know that the universe has your back in just about everything that you decide to do. I'm not sure if it's blocks in abundance, but whatever these blocks are doing, they may be blocking you now, but there's going to be a moment where these blocks are no longer going to be efficient. You know, all of a sudden, you just know that this is all going to work out in your favor. Whether these blocks are here, someone's upset that you're not listening to them, or they're trying to test you because someone's like, oh, she doesn't listen. Well, if you give me a reason not to listen, I'm not going to listen, you know? Look at the situation, look at the person. You know, there's some people you are not meant to listen to. I don't care who they are. You know, there's too much power tripping going on here. You know, one little flex of your finger and they're on a power trip. You know, for whatever reason, I don't understand. Yeah, because of some kind of strife. You know, maybe someone's used to always having their way, and then you come along and you're just, you know, just doing your thing. You're kind. You're not doing anything to really disturb anybody else, other than the fact that you're triggering the fucking demons like nuts. But that's not your problem. That's their own. This strife has nothing to do with you. You're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, you know. So if someone is on a power trip, or, you know, feeling like you're not listening to them or whatever, it's their own power trip. They're doing this for a reason. I'm not sure why, but whatever power trip that they're on is coming from their ego. It's not, you know, or it's coming from someone who's been scorned, or it's coming from someone who is of opposition to you, who is being defeated, obviously, because if they weren't being defeated, they wouldn't be opposing you. You know? And for some reason, you know, you're going through this transformation. You know, there's going to come a point, though, where there's no more transforming. Like, we have cooked all that we can here. You know? There's no more. We can't cook anymore here, right? Like, God has made you fireproof. Can't touch this. Don't break it down. Oh. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know? Yeah. The Emperor. Structure. Building. You know, 9 of Wands. Endurance. That's what you're going through right now. You are enduring all of this. You've endured everything that they have thrown at you. it's impressive. It really is, and there's success out of this, you know? So I wouldn't worry about, you know, I think it's important to meditate right now, exercise, eat well, stretch, you know, go within, find that peace, and just continue to move forward here, you know, knowing that, you know, whether someone's coming out with you with a power trip or they're saying things, you know yourself, you know where you stand, you know, you've done the work, you've put yourself together with the help of others, of course. I mean, it's not that you're not taking all the credit here, because there's God, there's other people that God has sent to help you. There's all this stuff that you have in your life to be completely grateful for. Yeah, you may be alone, and being a chosen one, that is kind of what happens, you know, being alone. I think somebody may be trying to come towards you, and you may be not looking for anything, you know, at this time, you know, unless you had plans with someone, you know, before. But the way things have turned out, I don't even think that's things are different. Yeah, you have conception here. These are new ideas. This is the activations deck. And it says, the frequency of conception invites us to bring our conscience to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. You know, I guess just being still. I think you're really comfortable with pushing people away, and maybe you should give people a chance to be in your life, because I think you've pushed enough people away. You know, maybe it's time to be open to people who love you and want to be in your life. And I know it's easy to be alone. I mean, it really is. It's like that point where it's like, you know what, I've been alone for this long. Like, why would I want anybody in my life at this point, you know? But, you know, I think it's always important to just be open. You know, I know you're content alone, and you don't have anybody that you're really interested in at this time. And, you know, things have kind of just not really turned out the way that you wanted them to. But, you know, I'm not really sure. Like, the universe is using you in ways that maybe you may not understand at this time. And when you bring your consciousness in to the origin of what is going on in a situation, you know, being happily single is not a bad thing, you know, but pushing everybody away is something that maybe you should look at. So, I don't know. With that, I hope if you got anything out of this, I am so grateful. And until the next time that we talk, we'll talk then. Bye, guys.